All right, let's jump right into it. There was this Donald Trump speech, and right after, a commentator on Fox News made a pretty wild claim. She said it wasn't just a speech, it was a trap. So today, we're going to deconstruct that argument. We're going to take it apart piece by piece and see how it was actually put together. And this is the quote that really kicks the whole thing off from former White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt. The whole idea here is that this was all on purpose, a strategic move. So what does she even mean by a trap? And how, exactly, was this thing supposed to have been set? Okay, so to really get our heads around this, we're going to break it down into 5 parts. First, we'll look at the main thesis. Then, how the stage was set. After that, the supposed reaction from the other side. Then, how this whole thing is used to frame the election. And finally, what the projected political impact is meant to be. All right, first up, the thesis. The big idea, the central claim, is all about design. The argument being made is that this wasn't just some off-the-cuff speech. No, it was a carefully crafted political strategy built to get a very, very specific result. And here's the absolute core of it, according to Leavitt. The point of the speech wasn't really about policy or even about honoring the guests. The whole point was to get a specific negative reaction from the Democrats, a reaction that, she claims, would show everyone their true colors. So if it's a trap, it's got to have bait, right? Well, the argument points to some very specific, really emotionally charged moments during the speech. These weren't just random stories. They were, according to this argument, the bait. And Leavitt highlights these 3 examples specifically. You've got the Olympic hockey team. I mean, who doesn't love a gold medal story? And then you have these 2 heartbreaking stories about victims of crime. The argument goes that by putting these stories front and center, Trump created a situation where if his opponents didn't show support, it would look really, really bad for them politically. But you might be thinking, why would they fall for such an obvious setup? Well, the argument has an answer for that. Leavitt brings up something called Trump derangement syndrome. The idea is, basically, that their dislike for Trump is so all-consuming that it messes with their political instincts. It supposedly stops them from clapping even for something that should be a slam dunk, like Team USA. Okay, so the bait is out there. Did they take it? Well, this next part of the argument is all about the Democratic reaction, or lack of reaction. This is where the trap supposedly springs. And this alleged inaction, the sitting, the not applauding, is presented as Exhibit A. It's the proof that the whole strategy worked. The claim is that by staying in their seats, the Democrats gave Trump the exact visual he was looking for, that perfect political contrast. And this is where the argument takes a pretty big leap. It connects a physical thing, sitting down, to a huge political accusation. Leavitt's logic goes like this. If they didn't stand for the victims, that must mean they side with the criminals. It's a major connection to make. So, okay, the trap has been sprung, the point has been made, now what? Well, the argument zooms way out. It takes this one incident from one night and uses it to frame the entire election. And this is the picture it tries to paint for voters, a really simple black and white choice. You've got one side, which Leavitt calls common sense, President Trump and the Republicans, protecting Americans, and then you've got the other side, the crazy radical Democrats, who are defined by just one thing, being against Donald Trump. And Leavitt really doubles down on this. In her view, the trap wasn't just about one night. It succeeded in creating this stark, comparative choice that she believes will define the entire election. So, let's get to the end game. What's the final payoff for this whole strategy? Well, according to Leavitt, it was basically to give the Republican Party a huge political gift. Leavitt actually calls the Democrats' reaction the greatest gift they could have possibly given to Republicans. And why is that? Because, from her perspective, they exposed themselves. They supposedly proved that they are radical, extreme, out of touch, and just lacking common sense. It's like they made the Republicans' argument for them. And the whole argument wraps up with a pretty bold prediction. The claim is that this one moment, this one perceived mistake, is going to have real-world consequences come Election Day, that it will actually have an impact on the midterm elections. So there you have it. We've just walked through the 5 key parts of this Trump trap argument. It's a really fascinating look at how political events can be framed. And it kind of leaves us with a final thought, doesn't it? What does it do to how we see things when politics is framed less like a debate over ideas and more like a series of clever traps waiting to be sprung?